Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the news at 6 here on Rajya TV. It's a long weekend, but then the news doesn't stop. Let's get you the headlines of this hour. Amid strained ties over the fallout of India's NSG membership bid, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi meets Prime Minister Narendra Modi and counterpart Sushma Swaraj. Both sides hold discussions on issues of mutual interest. A day after the all-party meeting on the unrest in the Kashmir Valley, political parties continue to react to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's remarks, stating that Pakistan should answer for atrocities in Balochistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. A couple of months to go, but has the US elections been decided? 4 latest polls show Republican nominee Donald Trump losing ground in 3 crucial states ahead of the November 8 general elections against Democrat Hillary Clinton. And Michael Phelps' goal run at Rio Olympics sees an abrupt end, manages just a silver in the 100 meters butterfly final. The American swimming ace now says he will not compete in the 2020 Games in Tokyo. Top story now. On a 3-day visit to India, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi today met Prime Minister Narendra Modi and External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj. The two sides talked about regional and bilateral issues. Here are the details.
Amid strained ties over the fallout for the NSG membership bid, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi met Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday. Wang Yi is on a 3-day visit to India to hold various bilateral and multilateral talks. The two leaders held discussions on issues of mutual interests. MEA spokesperson Vikas Swarup announced the meet between the two leaders on social media, a morning for neighbourly engagement. After meeting the Prime Minister, Wang Yi met his counterpart Sushma Swaraj. Issues relating to the annual BRICS summit to be held in Goa this year and issues of mutual importance were discussed during the meet.
गोवा की आपकी यात्रा भी अच्छी हुई होगी क्योंकि इस बार तो आपके आने के 2 उद्देश्य हैं आपस में बातचीत भी करना और ब्रिक्स के लिए गोवा भी जाना आप गोवा होकर आए हैं ब्रिक्स में दोबारा आप वहाँ आने वाले हैं गोवा की आपकी यात्रा अच्छी होगी और आपको अच्छा लगा होगा गोवा का स्थान भी दिल्ली से तो आप परिचित हैं पहले भी दिल्ली में इस में हम लोगों की मुलाकात हो चुकी है आज मैं पुनः आपका स्वागत करती हूँ इस मीटिंग में और
Wang Yi is expected to seek India's support for the Chinese position on the South China Sea dispute. However, China, along with other nations, had played an important role stalling India's entry into the NSG on the ground that it was not a signatory to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. So it will be interesting to see how that balance is created. Bureau Report, Rajya TV.
Security was beefed up along the border areas of Jammu and Kashmir on Saturday ahead of Independence Day. Meanwhile, unrelenting curfew by authorities and the protest shutdown called by the separatists crippled the entire valley for the 36th consecutive day.
Security forces in Kashmir are on alert ahead of the Independence Day celebrations, a day after the central government held an all-party meeting to discuss the recent unrest in the valley. Authorities barricaded Srinagar's commercial hub of Lal Chowk and there was heavy deployment of forces in the markets and on the roads. Barricades were put up and barbed wires were laid out on roads in sensitive areas.
Issues को मद्देनजर रखते हुए deployments वगैरह किया गया है, security arrangements किया गया है.
Curfew remained in force in the entire Srinagar district and Anantnag town to thwart separatists' plan to stage a 2-day protest in the city centre. Separatists have also issued a fresh protest calendar extending the ongoing shutdown till August 18th. Dozens were injured in a crackdown on protesters after the Friday prayers across the valley. Meanwhile, normal life remained affected with schools, business establishments and private offices remained closed and public transport staying off the roads. Mobile internet services continued to remain snapped in the entire valley. The death toll in the ongoing unrest has climbed to 56 with the death of a youth injured in firing. Bureau Report, Rajya TV.
And a day after that all-party meeting on Kashmir where Prime Minister Narendra Modi blamed cross-border terrorism for tension in the valley, reactions continue to pour in. Here are some of them.
You respond to what is happening in Gilgit area, what is happening in Balochistan, what is happening internally within the so-called Pakistan also. Focus on that and then don't try to create problems, because your approach of creating disturbance in India is not going to help you in long term. It will boomerang on you. Already at some places it has affected you also.
हम अमन के पक्षधर हैं, अमन की हम पूजा करते हैं, लेकिन आतंक को हम किसी तरह से बर्दाश्त नहीं करते.
We have suggested that government should open up dialogue with all stakeholders, and let us see what government is going to do in the coming days.
It's the first time ever that an Indian Prime Minister has expressed his wish to support Baloch people, and I think it's a very crucial decision made by the Indian government, and we hope Prime Minister Modi will play the same role Miss Gandhi played in 1970s and 71. Baloch people share common interest with India. We are secular and we also believe in democratic principles. It is high time for India and other democratic countries in the world to come forward and support Baloch people.
Onto the news, naval divers on Saturday located the wreckage of the second bus that fell into Savadri River near Mahad in Rajya district of Maharashtra. The MSRTC bus had fallen into and was washed away in the Savadri River after the British-era bridge it was travelling on collapsed on the 2nd of August. The wreckage was located around 400 metres away from the collapsed bridge side on the busy Mumbai-Goa highway. On Thursday, wreckage of the first bus was retrieved approximately 170 and 200 metres away from the collapsed bridge. So far, 26 bodies have been recovered and nearly 14 are still missing and feared dead. 2 state transport buses and some private vehicles had fallen into the swollen river during that bridge collapse. With a quick break here, we'll be back with more news in a bit. Stay with us.
The art of painting comes to us from the prehistoric period. Paintings are also a valuable source of information about their age. Like this depiction of the wedding procession of Dara Shikoh. The eldest son of Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan had a Mughal wedding with distinctive Indian elements. Like the veil he wears to the pomp and show of the Bharat in Hindu weddings.
Approximately maybe 40% of the under 5 children are undernourished. The type of food that you take, and second thing is your physical activity also. That is something which has become a casualty in this modern day life. It is a question of moderation that needs to be adopted by the people to have a healthy lifestyle.
Watch Eureka with Dr. P. Uday Kumar, Senior Deputy Director, National Institute of Nutrition, only on Rajya Sabha television.
Art arisen from a multi-hued cultural canvas. Tradition and cultural fervour dating back centuries. And encircling them all, there's a magic that awes. Embrace your nation's brilliant human warmth. Watch Colours of India, Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Let's get international news. In the race for the US presidency, she seems to be tilting towards the Democrat nominee Hillary Clinton. And that's because opinion polls have started showing Hillary extending her lead against her Republican rival Donald Trump. Commentators are already speculating on what could be the decisive turns of Trump's campaign that will perhaps spell his eventual defeat.
Ahead of the US elections in November, opinion polls are shifting the momentum behind Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton. 4 latest polls show that Republican nominee Donald Trump has lost ground in 3 crucial states ahead of the November 8th general election against Clinton.
As president, I will stand up to China and anyone else who tries to take advantage of American workers and companies. And I'm going to ramp up enforcement by appointing, for the first time, a chief trade prosecutor. I will triple the number of enforcement officers, and when countries break the rules, we won't hesitate to impose targeted tariffs.
Trump is certainly not helping his cause with his unfiltered speaking style that has repeatedly landed him in hot water. In the latest incident, Trump on Friday told rallies in Altoona and Erie that his remarks earlier this week calling Obama and Clinton the founders of ISIS, as Islamic State is also known, had been sarcastic.
It's like I told you about, sarcastically. I mean, you had to see these news organizations yesterday. When I said Obama, right? Did you see that? That Obama is the founder of ISIS. He's the MVP. They're going to be giving him the MVP award, and she's right there next to him. And you had to see, and they left the MVP stuff out because then you'd know. But you had to hear, did he mean it? What does it mean? We have 9 panelists tonight.
In a surprise appearance, Republican National Committee Chairman Reince Priebus, who in private expressed fury over some of Trump's actions earlier this month, introduced the candidate at campaign events in Erie and Altoona, Pennsylvania, where the two shook hands on stage.
Now, speaking of regulation, before I speak of regulation, Reince, I want to thank you. Where's Reince? What a great guy. Reince, get over here, Reince. He has done, thank you very much. Reince has done such an amazing job, and they portrayed him slightly inaccurately. Reince, come here for a second, please.
Trump went on to blame the media for blowing out of proportion what had been a sarcastic comment. Trump first made the unfounded claim on Wednesday and repeated it through the week.
And we have to call up law enforcement, and we have to have the sheriffs and the police chiefs and everybody watching, because if we get cheated out of this election, if we get cheated out of a win in Pennsylvania, which is such a vital state, especially when I know what's happening here, folks. I know she can't beat what's happening here. The only way they can beat it, in my opinion, and I mean this 100%, if in certain sections of the state they cheat, okay?
Nearly 1/5 of registered Republicans now want Trump to drop out of the race for the White House, according to a Reuters Ipsos poll released on Wednesday. Trump has been mired in repeated controversies in recent days. He drew heavy criticism after he suggested gun rights activists could take action against Clinton, a statement he later said was aimed at rallying votes against her. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, the current US government has claimed some big victories against the Islamic State, including the killing of the terror group's chief in Afghanistan. Hafiz Saeed Khan was killed in a drone strike in Afghanistan's Nangarhar province. Meanwhile, the Syria Democratic Forces have also been able to free the city of Manjib from IS forces. Residents of the border city were jubilant as they celebrated their newfound freedom.
شو حاسة؟ الحمد لله فرحانين أخوي فرحانين كيفين الحمد لله ولا خلصنا محمد الحمد لله.
The people of Manjib jubilant over the ousting of Islamic State militants from their city. The city near the Turkish border with Syria had been under IS control, forced to suffer the terrorist group's extremities.
هون كانوا يعدموا الناس ويعلقوا رؤوسهم هون ويخلوه 3 أيام.
شو اسمها المنطقة؟
هاي اسمها دوار السفينة. هاي دوار السفينة. كل دوار حطوا صليب. إذا أي شغلة إذا كان بحجة إنه كفر بيحطوه بيقتلوه بيقطعوا راسه. بيعدموا الناس هون وبيقتلوهم وكله إعدام وكله ظلم كله ظلم 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 ليوم الظلم. والله بريئين من الدين والله. الإسلام وكنا عايشين بالإسلام وعايشين على الفطرة. هم جايين يعلمونا الإسلام.
The ouster came after the Syria Democratic Forces, with heavy air support from the US-led coalition, intensified their fight for the city, where a small number of IS fighters were holed up. Over 2,000 civilian hostages were released as the Allied forces took over. But there are thousands more who have been taken hostage by the fleeing militants to be used as human shields. The conquering of Manbij will give the forces better conditions to move on to Islamic State's de facto capital of Raqqa. Meanwhile, the Pentagon has confirmed that the head of the Islamic State's branch in Afghanistan, Hafiz Saeed Khan, was killed in a US airstrike last month. Khan was also a former Pakistani Taliban member. It is unclear how many others were killed and if that number included civilians in the July 26 strike in the Arjan district of Afghanistan's eastern Nangarhar province. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And here's a look at some more international news updates in Global Buzz. Russian President Vladimir Putin has replaced his longtime ally Sergei Ivanov as the Kremlin chief of staff a month before parliamentary elections. The new successor, Anton Vaino, is a low-profile former diplomat. While some analysts called it a sign that Putin was perhaps nervous ahead of the elections, others said that Ivanov had always been looking to quit for some time. Brazil's Supreme Court announced that 25th of August would be the date for the final impeachment trial of suspended President Dilma Rousseff. Expectations are that the trial will last under 5 days, although allies of interim President Michel Temer are seeking to reduce this period further. 54 votes are needed for Rousseff to be impeached and permanently removed from office. Malaysian police today arrested 9 people with suspected links to the Islamic State. 2 of the arrested are believed to be involved in a bombing at a nightclub in June that injured 8 people. The suspects were unavailable for comment, and it was unclear whether they had legal representation. With that, a quick break here, but up next, we're getting you all the action from Rio.
One of the most influential revolutionaries of Indian freedom struggle, Shaheed Bhagat Singh. Born into a Sikh family, patriotism flowed in his blood at the age of 13. When he formed Naujawan Bharat Sabha to spread the message of revolution in Punjab. In the wake of avenging Lala Lajpat Rai's death, Bhagat Singh and his associates coined the catchphrase Inqilab Zindabad. But towards the end of their rebellion, they had to pay a heavy price for their patriotism. Following the blasts inside the corridors of the assembly, both Bhagat Singh and Batukeshwar Dutt courted arrest. Bhagat Singh was sent to the gallows in Lahore with his fellow comrades, after which he was cremated in Husainiwala on the banks of Satluj.
Welcome back. Now, India will hope for their first medal at the Rio Olympics from shooting and tennis today. Mixed doubles pair of Sania Mirza and Rohan Bopanna are just a win away from securing India's first medal. So here's what we can look forward to today in shooting. Mehraj Ahmed Khan is in action in the second day of qualifications of skeet, while Gulpreet Singh is in action in stage 2 qualification of 25 meters rapid-fire pistol category. Both men had finished on 10th position after the first day of qualification.
Shooting an 8.3 to begin with and then some 9s. It's the man under pressure.
However, India's biggest medal hope will be Sania Mirza and Rohan Bopanna, who will play their mixed doubles semi-final match tonight. They will take on the American team of Venus Williams and Rajiv Ram. If India wins, it will be assured of at least a silver medal. A loss will of course mean that they will have to fight for the bronze medal match. The Indian women's hockey team will also play its final group game against Argentina. India need to win this game and then hope that Japan loses to Australia to make it to the quarterfinals. In athletics, Lalita Babbar and Sudha Singh will also feature in the heats of 3,000 meter steeplechase event, with Nirmala Shiran featuring in the 400 meters race.
Competing hard for the ball.
Meanwhile, on day 7 of the Games, Joseph Schooling of Singapore denied Michael Phelps his 23rd Olympic gold and secured the first ever Olympic gold for his country by winning the men's 100 meters butterfly stroke. And in athletics, Ethiopia's Almaz Ayana smashed the world record for the 10,000 meter race. Here's more of the results from day 7.
Michael Phelps was denied a 23rd gold in his last individual Olympic race as Joseph Schooling won the men's 100 meters butterfly to secure Singapore's first Olympic gold medal. The 19-year-old remained in control of the race and won by 0.75 seconds from the trio of Phelps, South Africa's Chadli Klaus and Hungary's Laszlo Cseh, who all tied for the silver in a dead heat.
New best time in the Olympic record. It was a real thrill to swim against Michael and all those guys,
Meanwhile, American Katie Ledecky completed a rare individual treble by winning the women's 800-meter freestyle in a new world record time. The 19-year-old, who had earlier won the 200-meter and 400-meter freestyle, took nearly 2 seconds off her own world record to win in 8 minutes 4.79 seconds, nearly 12 seconds clear of the rest.
I have to wait 4 more years to have that moment again, and I wanted the last one to be something really special.
In tennis, Spain's Rafael Nadal and Marc Lopez won the gold medal in the men's doubles event. The duo defeated the Romanian pair of Florin Mergia and Horia Tocău 6-2, 3-6, 6-4 in the final. This was Nadal's second Olympic gold, as he also won a gold at the Beijing Olympics in 2008.
A double break lead in the first set.
In athletics, Ethiopia's Almaz Ayana smashed the world record to win the Olympic 10,000 meters title, blowing away the competition in one of the greatest ever long-distance races at the Games. Ayana dominated from the start and finished the race in 29 minutes 17.45 seconds, 14 seconds quicker than the previous world record. Bradley Wiggins fired Britain to the track cycling team gold in a titanic final battle with Australia. British rowers also had a good day as they bagged 2 more gold medals.
Hats off to them, because I think, to be fair, they're the reason that we trained as hard as we have. They're the reason we train, get up in the mornings. It was all about the Australians. They took team pursuit into a new level the last few years, and without them we wouldn't be here, and that was reflected in the final tonight, probably one of the best finals ever.
In women's football, Sweden knocked the United States out of the tournament, beating the defending champions 4-3 on penalties in the quarter-final. In the overall medals tally after day 7, the United States maintained the #1 spot with 50 medals that includes 20 gold, 13 silver and 17 bronze. China stood at the second spot with 13 golds, while Britain jumped to the third spot with 22 medals that includes 7 gold, 9 silver and 6 bronze. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And here's some good news for football fans. Argentina star striker Lionel Messi announced on Friday that he wants to return to play for the national team, reversing his decision to retire earlier this year. In a statement, Messi said he wished to continue playing for his country as he preferred to help from within. He's been named Argentina's World Cup qualifiers squad less than 2 months after retiring from international football. Messi quit after Argentina's Copa America final defeat by Chile in June. He missed in the penalty shootout defeat by Chile as Argentina lost a 4th major final in 9 years. Messi's only major tournament international honour is Olympic gold at the 2008 Games in Beijing. The forward, who has been awarded the Ballon d'Or for the world's best player 5 times, was also on the losing side against Brazil in the 2007 Copa America final. And that's all we have for you on the news at 6. Thanks so much for joining us.